Murdeshwara, also known as Murdeshwara, is a town in Uttara Kannada district in the state of Karnataka, India, and lies on the coast of the Lakshadweep Sea. It contains the world's third tallest Shiva statue, as well as the Murdeshwara temple. The town has a railway station on the Mangalore-Mumbai-Konkan railway route. The origin of the name Murdeshwar dates to the time of Ramayana. The Hindu gods attained immortality and invincibility by worshipping a divine linga called the Atma Linga. The Lanka king Ravana wanted to attain immortality by obtaining the Atma Linga. Since the Atma Linga belonged to Shiva, Ravana worshipped Shiva with devotion. Pleased by his prayers, Shiva appeared before him and asked him what he wanted. Ravana asked for the Atma Linga. Shiva agreed to give him the boon on the condition that it should never be placed on the ground before he reaches Lanka. If the Atma Linga was ever placed on the ground, it would be impossible to move it. Having obtained his boon, Ravana started back on his journey to Lanka. Lord Vishnu, who learned of this incident, realized that with the Atma Linga, Ravana may obtain immortality and wreak havoc on earth. He approached Ganesha and requested him to prevent the Atma Linga from reaching Lanka. Ganesha knew that Ravana was a very devoted person who performed prayer rituals every evening without fail. He decided to make use of this fact and came up with a plan to confiscate the Atma Linga from Ravana. As Ravana was nearing Gokarna, Vishnu blotted out the sun to give the appearance of dusk. Ravana now had to perform his evening rituals, but was worried because with the Atma Linga in his hands, he would not be able to do his rituals. At this time, Ganesha, in the disguise of a Brahmin boy, accosted him. Ravana requested him to hold the Atma Linga until he performed his rituals and asked him not to place it on the ground. Ganesha struck a deal with him, saying that he would call Ravana thrice, and if Ravana did not return within that time, he would place the Atma Linga on the ground. Ravana returned to find that Ganesha had already placed the Atma Linga on the ground. Vishnu then removed his illusion, and it was daylight again. Ravana, realizing that he had been tricked, tried to uproot and destroy the linga. Due to the force exerted by Ravana, some pieces were scattered. One such piece from the head of the linga is said to have fallen in present-day Surat. The Sadashiva temple is said to be built around that piece of linga. Then he decided to destroy the covering of the Atma Linga and threw the case covering it to a place called Sajeshwar, 37 kilometers away. Then he threw the lid of the case to a place called Guneshwar, now Gunavantha, and Dareshwar, 16 to 19 kilometers away. Finally, he threw the cloth covering the Atma Linga to a place called Murdeshwara in Kanduka Giri, Kanduka Hill. Murdeshwara has been renamed to Murdeshwara. Murdeshwara temple was built on the Kanduka Hill, which is surrounded on three sides by the waters of the Lakshadweep Sea. It is dedicated to Lord Shiva, and a 20-storied Raja Gopura was constructed at the temple in 2008. The temple authorities have installed a lift that provides a view of the 123 feet Sri Shiva idol from the top of the Raja Gopura. There is also a Rameshwara Linga at the bottom of the hill, where devotees can do seva themselves. A Shainswar temple has been built next to the idol of Sri Akshayaguna. Two life-size elephants in concrete stand guard at the steps leading to it. The entire temple and temple complex, including the 209 feet tall Raja Gopura, is one of the tallest. There are statues of Sun Chariot on the side of a park, a pool, statues depicting Arjuna receiving Gitopadesham from Lord Krishna, Ravana being deceived by Ganesha in disguise, Shiva's manifestation as Bhagirath descending Ganga carved around the hill. The temple is entirely modernized with the exception of the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is still dark and retains its composure. The main deity is Sri Murudesan Linga, also called Murdeshwara. The linga is believed to be a piece of the original Atma Linga and is about 2 feet below ground level. The devotees performing special sevas like Abhisheka, Rudrabhisheka, Rathotsava, etc. can view the deity by standing before the threshold of the sanctum, and the linga is illuminated by oil lamps held close by the priests. The linga is essentially a rough rock inside a hollowed spot in the ground. Entry into the sanctum is banned for all devotees. A huge towering statue of Shiva, visible from great distances, is present in the temple complex. It is the third tallest statue of Shiva in the world after Statue of Belief and Kailashnath Mahadev statue. The statue is 123 feet in height and took about 2 years to build. The statue was built by Shiva Mogas Kashinath and several other sculptors, financed by businessman and philanthropist Arun Shetty, at a cost of approximately 50 million rupees. The idol is designed such that it gets the sunlight directly and thus appears sparkling.